Hello, welcome back on here. It's a wonderful and a very bright day out here. On today's lessons, I'm going to talk about how long do layers lay eggs, the full cycle of their life, explained both in months and in years. Alright, many poultry farmers get confused and even lose money because they don't understand one thing: how long layers actually lay eggs. Alright, some think it's 6 months, others say 1 year, and some even keep birds for too long without profits. Okay, so in today's masterclass, I'm going to break down clearly for you to understand how long layer produce eggs, the difference between months in production and total lifespan. All right, and when they should stop laying and when you should stop keeping your birds. If you are serious about making profit from layers farming, this is a must watch for you. Alright, so we're going to talk about when do layers start laying. Let's start from the beginning. Most commercial layer birds start laying at 18 to 22 weeks. 18 to 22 weeks, that is around 4.5 to 5.5 months of age. This stage is called the point of lay, which they are ready to start laying. At this time, egg production starts small and little eggs, then gradual increase. Alright, so peak production after they start laying, production rises quickly. By 24 to 30 weeks, that is around 6 to 7 months old, each birds reach their peak production. So at peak production, you can get around 85 to 95% egg production depending on your management. Alright, this is the most profitable stage of your farm. Alright, so how long do layers lay eggs? This is very important. Now let's answer the main question. Layers don't lay eggs forever. Alright, active production lasts around 12 to 14 months. This means when they start laying, they will produce well for about 1 year plus a few months. So after that, production begins to drop gradually. Alright, so they will drop around, let's say, 1 year and 4 months, or 1 year and 6 months, that is 18 months, aside their 6 months of point of lay, like aside their 6 months of age which they used to grow up. So now let's look at the declining stage where many farmers lose money. So after 72 to 80 weeks of age, that is about 17 to 18 months old of age, you will notice egg size may increase very well, but the number of eggs will drop. Feed consumption remains still high. This is where many farmers start losing profit because you are feeding more but getting fewer eggs. Right? So months in production versus total years, very important. Let me break this down clearly for you to understand. This is where confusion happens. Months in production, this is from the first egg to when production drops, roughly around 12 to 14 months of age. Alright, so the total age of the birds, this includes the brooding phase, the grower phase, laying period, the total lifespan of the bird on the farm, about 18 to 20 months, which is 1.5 to 2 years of age. Right, so let's say, simple breakdown, they use 0 to 5 months of age, no eggs by then. This is the growing stage. Then from 5 months to 17 months, that is the active egg production stage. Then from 17 to 20 months of age, the production starts declining. This is the full cycle curve. Alright, so now, should you keep layers for 2 years? Now the big question is, should you keep them for 2 years? My answer is not for profit farming. Most commercial farmers sell their birds or cull their birds at 72 to 80 weeks of age because profits drop. Feed cost becomes too high because they eat and they don't produce always. So keeping them longer makes sense if you are not focused on maximum profit. Like if you don't want all the profit, you can still keep them. All right, so let's move to the smart strategy. If you want to maximize your profit, plan your farm like a business. Start preparing new birds before old ones decline. Call at the right time. Avoid emotional attachment to your birds. Remember, layers are a business, not pet. Okay, so you have to manage this very, very well. All this depends on your management. All right, if you manage your birds properly and give them exactly what they want, you will keep them for 2 years maximum. Now take note, these 2 years we're talking about, 2 years at the dot, which is 2 years to 2 years, which is 24 months in total. Now your birds take out 6 months to grow. Okay, so aside this 6 months, you are left with 18 months. All right, so let's don't estimate too high. Let's move down to 16 months. So your birds lay for 16 good months, which is 1 year and 4 months. All right, so note, if for your bird to lay this and for you to achieve that maximum profit, you should make sure your farm management is top notch. All right, don't make sure your birds sick much. Make sure your birds do not sick too much, because too much of antibiotics on your birds might cause them harm. All right, it may cease their egg production. So make sure you are aware of how you treat your bird. Give them vitamins and electrolytes for them to ease down their stress when there is disturbance or loud noise in the farm. All right, so make sure you put your eyes on all this if you want to maximize your good egg production. All right, if you do all this, I can assure you that you are going to have a very long laying layers on your farm. This is what I've done over time. Then now make sure you don't run out of business. You should, once your bird is at least 6 months into lay, 6 months into lay, or less maximum 8 months into lay. If you are the kind of weak one that doesn't save much, then we should say 10 months into lay, you bring new birds. But if you know you want to recoup your money fast and reinvest your money, 6 months is more than enough. You bring new birds, then you start feeding the batch with the current birds that are laying. All right, so with this strategy, you will not run out of business, because if you allow your flock to stop laying entirely, you will lose your market. So this is a business and you don't want that to happen. Okay, so if you found this helpful, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more practical poultry trainings, and drop your question in the comment section. I also offer consultation if you want to set up or scale your farm. You see down here, I'm always available to help you. Thank you and have a wonderful day.